So, what is the best way to grow a business? Is there a best way? Maybe a good question is, what are reliable or top ways to do it, right? We're just going to talk about it in general, maybe not get into any specific stuff. First, let's look at what you were trying to do and maybe a niche that requires a certain approach, right? Maybe you need to focus on certain growth before other types of growth, such as maybe you need to increase your business awareness amongst potential customers before you can talk about growth, such as increasing your pricing, etc. AKA, there's steps to of things you have to handle first based on where you are. This is definitely talking about startup, like early stages type stuff, right? After you built it. So let's think about what matters first. Let's say that you want a sale. Let's say how would you want to get that, or how would you go about getting that? Your customer has to desire it. They have to be the type of person who wants or may need to buy it, right? Emotional or necessity, to where it's not even about emotions. It's just they know they need it, right? That could be a thing. And it probably at least has, and they probably at least have to have the capital to buy it. And then you need to get this off about, all right, my fault. Then you need to get this off about whether they can buy it from you or not. Or you need to figure out whether they can buy it from you or not. Your focus for a sale at all is to actually have a product or service to offer, and get it in front of your potential buyers, basically. So figure out what the offer is, and then figure out how you're going to market it, and to get it in front of them. Get it in front of as many of them as possible. So pushing it volume as much as possible. Obviously, more eyeballs means more people thinking about it, whether they're going to buy an hour later or tell someone else. So you have word of mouth working for you as well, right? So as many times as possible, as many of them as possible, and as many times as possible. So there's ads that can show in front of them multiple times. That helps as well, because there was a study done or something like that about how if people see things multiple times, whether they're consciously aware of it or not, that could become a preferential thing, or it can become something that they're more familiar with. So it can become a first choice amongst competitors, right? So yeah, if they're seeing it, as many of them as possible are seeing it, and then they're seeing it as many times as possible. So as many potential buyers as possible can see it and potentially decide that they need to buy it immediately and as many times as possible. So some people need to be exposed to an offer, or be aware of something multiple times in order to buy, because you're in competition with the market. You're in competition, in the market that may already, your competition in the market may already be who your buyer is going, who they're already going to. So they might already be going to a competitor. So you need to outcompete your competitor by even being made aware of, by appearing in front of your customers. And then you also need to appear in front of them many times. And hopefully that combination helps, right? And repetition of exposure will cause your potential buyers to build familiarity with you, interest you over time, having seen you more often, obviously, as I had priorly explained, until you are a choice amongst other choices who can be chose and even be preferred if they come to you and like you more, or if the other customers come. Or if other customers come to you and prefer you more, leading to more good reviews, word of mouth, exposure, and your business now building a good reputation, which brings in more customers. So reputation as well, you have to give it time, but when it builds, you can go to unlimited levels, to the point where you don't even market anymore, and you just customers know you exist and they just come to you regularly, right? Um, or you're getting so many customers, you can look into higher forms of marketing, um, as opposed to thinking about how you're even going to get a customer. You could think about, oh, do I want to have commercials on TV or have brands broadcast me to bigger audiences in some way, shape, or form? Billboards, I don't know. So it's really up to you, right? Um, so after a sale, what's next? You track everything you did until that sale, so you can know exactly what you may have brought uh, that sale or help bring. You track. Okay, so you track everything you did until that sale, so you can know exactly what may have brought you that sale, or help bring you that sale. So what exactly brought it, or were there things that helped bring it? So were there a bunch of things added up together that created the right formula or equation to help you get that sale? If you can figure these things out, right? But the tracking can help you figure these things out, obviously. Was it advertising via paid ads, or was it organic growth? Were you doing outreach yourself? Like you sending emails yourself, calling, whatever, because maybe you don't have a marketing team yet. Maybe you're early on in your business, so you have to figure out how to market it. And maybe can't pay anybody. It's probably better if you market it yourself, figure out what works, and then you can teach that to the people you'd hire later on who are going to take over the marketing. Or you can understand what works well for your business. So even if they have a way, you can make sure that maybe they're doing things that's aligned with what you want to be happening when your business is being marketed, right? So somebody else is speaking on behalf of your business. Do you want it to be portrayed a certain way or not? And do you know if things work very well or not, right? Because you're paying them. So you're going to pay them. You would hope that they're going to get the results the way that you would like, because you're already aware of how to do that from your own experience. If you do go that route, that you're going to do it yourself and then outsource things later, right? So what exactly did you do before that customer that appeared and bought? Whatever worked, keep it going, so it can bring more customers. And then if you like, you multiply that same thing that works, so it can have more reach. And there's many different ways to multiply. Maybe you hire people, maybe you understand how to use AI, maybe you're running ads and you make more ad sets, maybe you're marketing on a social media platform, maybe you figure out how to safely increase the volume on that platform without getting banned, or maybe you create other accounts so that you can safely increase volume on those accounts. Probably costs you more time. So I don't know if you outsource that or not, or if you market for your brand full time, but there's more ways you can multiply what is working, right? How can you multiply what worked so you can have more reach? And I just kind of explain this, but like I also, so here's the thing. I'm saying stuff, I'm commenting, and then I'm reading from an essay I actually wrote on this topic. So there's things that I'll segue and explain, and then I'll just re-explain it because it was part of the essay. So how can you multiply what worked so you can have more reach? If it was an ad that worked, maybe make ads that are just like that ad that worked in other campaigns alongside your winning campaign, or pump more ad spend into the winning campaign. If it was organic outreach, how exactly were you finding leads and converting them? What exactly was your script that helped them convert, and what info did they need to hear? What type of report was built? And how did you build trust, and what profit did you show? Excuse me. How did you build trust, and what proof did you show them to build their trust? And excuse me, when I've typed up a ton of essays very fast, so there's typos. Least I could have done is uploaded it into Microsoft Word and did a spell check at least. All right. All right. Let me just refine where I was. Just scroll on accident. So maybe you make ads just like that ad that where I did read that. Or you pump more ad spend into the winning campaign. What if it was organic outreach? How exactly were you finding the leads and converting them? What exactly was your script that helped them convert? And what info did they need to hear? And what type of report was built? All these things matter, right? If you can track it and figure out that it led towards something working out, then that's info you could probably try to repeat and get the same result again. If you know every part that could have mattered, keep it in mind, have it tracked somewhere, and if you think and you see it could be applicable, reapply it. So okay, how did you build trust and what okay, I already said that. If it was making a call, so here's some examples, right? Um all right, my fault. So how did you build trust? Okay, how did you build trust and what proof did you show to help them build the trust? Where did the trust get built? Was it your words, content, testimonies, examples of past experience that you could show that built trust? If it was making a call, here's the example. If it was making a call, what was the script? What did you say? Was it an offer or a discount that helped them buy? Did you give an example and then charge money when they got to the sample value and got to the sample value and then okay, so basically what I was saying there is, let's say you started with a free trial or even a discounted trial. It's really up to you. How did you get them in the door? Did you give them a free sample? And then when you got to the point where you gave them the value they wanted. So I'm talking about marketing here. I'm a marketing agency. So if I give you a free trial and I get you some results off a free trial, and then I say, all right, once I get you this many results, or I'm going to get you results for a week or a month, whatever. After that, and you see that I can actually get you results, and yet you have these results that have now gained you money or whatever conversion that you needed in your business, then you'd want to sign up for more, possibly, or maybe you don't need me right now, but you'd keep me in mind because now you know that I can get you results, right? So that's what I meant by that. Outside of the typos or improper wording I use when I quickly typed up this essay. By the way, in these, I hadn't said this. I didn't have an opening. I'm giving free consulting, just giving out free value. And if you're interested in hearing more about how I can help you, I can do that, and I'll explain that at the end of this video. So now that they see the value that you bring, maybe they want to sign up and get paid for more after your free trial. So basically, you figure out these things and you do them at more volume if possible. And if it's safe, don't burn out. And also don't get banned off platforms because you need those accounts so you can continue marketing another day. So don't lose the account. This could be making a new social media account. So as I just said, and I have this in the essay. So it could mean making a new social media account or many more that you use to do your organic marketing. It could mean more calls, more emails, and even more money into ads and more campaigns, testing things that are working. It could mean more time and more money spent to bring more growth and results. Or you can delegate the work to people you hire. So instead of you doing all this, you can have someone else do it, as you only have so much time to be doing anything, obviously, right? You might take 10 hours a day to do something, but you can get 50 hours a day if you hired other people to do it as well. And you instruct them on exactly what needs to get done. And hopefully have the revenue and income to do that from your sales already, right? Or maybe you're doing it based on project. So when you get a project, maybe you get paid up front and then that pay goes into them starting, I guess, right? And you would just you would know the math before you even decide on any of this stuff. Or you'd figure out the math. do the same thing you did on 5 different accounts. This is me continue. So, AKA 50 hours, 5 different people. So you're doing the same thing on 5 different accounts. You can have an ad campaign work and bring 3,000 in profit for 500 ad spend. I'm just giving a random example. But if you bump it up to 1,500 in ad spend, you could very much have 9,000 in profit, as long as you found something that actually works and will nearly guarantee the results. And when I'm talking about you're bumping it up to 1,500, that's me just basically tripling it, right? So that's me giving an ad campaign example after giving the example of you versus 5 people. So the you versus 5 people, you could increase the results maybe up to 5 times over, who knows? And then ad campaign, if you were to pump 3 times the amount in, you could get 3 times the amount back, as long as you already knew what type of results you were getting for a while to even be able to make an estimate or educated guess or prediction, or because like maybe you have many months or even years of stably getting the same type of results before you would decide to triple the amount of money you're pumping into something, right? Because you want to make smart decisions about how you're going to use your money. Excuse me, I scrolled on accident, so I'm just refining where I am before I continue explaining any of these things. All right. So now that, so basically, as long as you found something that actually works, it will nearly guarantee the results, as I already read. Now that you can get a single customer and get customers on top of that, and even get customers at the rate that you want, aka you have tracked these things and you've seen that certain things are working consistently, and then you deliberately do those things consistently and get the consistent results. So now there's a thing that is stable that can work. Until maybe the market changes, but it works now, right? You have a history of knowing that it will work. Now that you can, okay. All right, so now that you can get a single customer and get more customers on top of that, and even get customers at the rate that you want, can you grow more? I'm asking the question, and I'll say yes. You can charge more for your product and service, but you want to figure out what is a reasonable reason or way to do it, right? It has to make sense. They have to actually think it's worth what you're charging, right? Can you charge more because you bring more value? Do you do something so much better than your competitors that people are happy to pay you more than them? Can you guarantee results that customers want more than your competitor? So can you bring results superior to your competitors? And you have proof with testimonials and examples of past work. Can you say that your product or service is heavily in demand and charge more because you have a scarce amount of product or scarce amount of service to sell, to where now customers need to pay more to obtain anything and even be on a waiting list, possibly because your service that they need isn't available until you have the capacity to bring them what they have paid for, because you only have so many workers or so many systems set up to handle every current customer, right? AKA is what you offer so much in demand that people are willing to pay and reserve a spot with you. All right. So I'm recording this. I'm just making sure the recording's still on. I actually clicked off. My thumb is on the screen. All right. So also, how big is your business? How much are people aware of it in general, and how much is people who are in the need of what you offer aware of you? The more aware people are, the more of a chance you may uh, the chance you may be reaching the point where you don't need to make any massive efforts into marketing. Okay, so let me just say that was the same sentence, but it's chopped off as if it was like the end of a paragraph. So I read that incorrectly. So also, how big is your business? How much are people aware of it in general? And how much are people who are in need of what you offer aware of you? Um, the more aware people are, let me just turn off this timer that I have for things I'm doing. All right. So the more aware of you people are, the more of a chance you may be reaching the point where you don't need to make any massive efforts into marketing, as your business being in existence is all that it needs. All that needs to happen for as customers will find you themselves. Maybe you're easy to find. Maybe they've heard about you and they'll type your name in Google. Who knows, right? Whatever it is you are trying to do to grow your business, keep in mind that there are stages and also things that work better for others. Try to figure out what works by trying different things for periods of time until you can find things that give back some type of return, even if it isn't monetary return yet. For example, maybe you have yet to gain customers, but you are figuring out how to make content for advertisement that causes more people to follow your business page on social media and gain more views and likes and comments from people who are interested. Let me scroll down so I can continue. Are you finding things that grow your page faster than others? Also, when you get sales, are you finding ways to increase your inputs that work well to get sales? Or are you figuring out new ways that could be variations of what work that can allow you other methods of getting sales, etc. Also, regarding types of businesses, what works best for what? Are you B2B business to customer, or are you business to customer? In order to get business, you may need to figure out how to contact the person from that business who you can make the deal with, figure out and build a script to actually offer them your sale. Can take time, can take many iterations to sharpen that. Obviously, and you figure that out through experience, or maybe you know a mentor who can give you this information. When you finally make contact with them and figure out how you need to position yourself so they will buy from you and gain the value you offer over a competitor. And this can happen via email or call. Usually when it's B2B or business to business, right? When it's business to customer, you're probably running ads, building pages to advertise a product or service on social media or wherever to customers who will arrive in probably larger numbers for usually lower ticket prices, could be, right? Than your B2B sales. But same thing with the business to customer sales. Brand trust helps, such as testimonials and good reviews, but your outreach to actually grow looks a little different. The more you grow, have a store selling products to customers that's growing, you're probably spending more money on ads while still doing organic growth. Need more B2B sales, you're probably doing more calls and sending more emails or hiring one or many people to assist you with calls and emails, both outbound and inbound, so you can get more clients. Obviously, you can use ads as well and social media as well, right? Growth can happen on accident, just like luck can be anywhere, but you can also do it on purpose. aka the ways I've just explained to you. Also, I do want to say that I'm Andrew, and I own Retro FB Advertising Branding Agency, or Retro FB Retro Agency. Any of those words or whatever, as long as you know it's me, Andrew, and you know it's this YouTube, and you can. I'm gonna put the Facebook link in the bio so you can click on it and go to my Facebook, and then from there, just send me a DM, and whether it's through DM or if you want to go to email, if you want to call, and I can explain how I can run ads for you and help you grow your business, and we'll figure out if we're a good fit, and I'll get you results, and I'll explain to you how exactly I'll do that when you message me there. But here I give free consulting to help you with any part of your business, obviously, because as you can see, I just explain many different aspects of it in many different stages. And I have different topics where I just go into detail like that about all the little details, but still keeping it in general. I didn't talk about a specific business, or maybe I gave some examples, but I just wanted to talk about the idea of building a business properly and having it succeed, right? So I give out this free information. Maybe you could find this information, maybe you know it from experience because you tried a lot of stuff and you're already a business owner who is successful. Or maybe you put in a lot of time and effort. Maybe you haven't seen results yet, or the results you want yet, and you've figured this stuff out. Maybe you've heard it from mentors, but I'm here giving it for free. And then if you want more help, I can give you more help. So you can find me on Facebook, where I post these things many times a week. I post these essays I type up many times a week, full of typos because I'm very, very busy, but try to get the point across. And I'm also repurposing them here on YouTube. So if you're interested, I'll have the link in the bio. You can also leave a comment letting me know you're interested if I don't have the link in bio yet. And then you can click there and find me on Facebook, and then I can also further help you. So I hope you enjoyed this, and thank you.